So good morning, everyone. Bonjour. My name is Arielle Kayabaga. I'm the Member of Parliament for London West and the Deputy House Leader in the House of Commons. It is a genuine pleasure to be here with all of you this morning on what I think is going to be a really important and exciting morning. Before anything else, I'd like to first acknowledge that we are gathered here in the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Attawandaran, and Mississauga peoples. Les peuples autochtones qui prennent soin de ces terres et de ces eaux depuis de temps immémoriaux, nous leur sommes reconnaissants de leur gestion responsable et nous nous engageons à établir un partenariat respectueux alors que nous menons ce travail ensemble. So I want to thank our hosts here today, the IMT Precision, for welcoming us into this facility. Cheryl, Hackney and her family. I've had the opportunity to tour this place and to see the extensive work that they're doing. I understand that this is a long-standing family business. It's so amazing to see a small business right in our backyard in southwestern Ontario doing the kind of enormous work that they're doing. And I want to recognize also that I'm joined with my colleague, Minister David McGuinty, the Minister of National Defense. Thank you for making the trip all the way to Ingersoll. I think a few days ago he was on a flight somewhere in the northern part of Europe, and now he's right here in southwestern Ontario. It's very exciting to have him here today. Now, I must tell you about a place that we're standing here today. Right now, IMT Precision has been part of this community since 1914. That's over a century of people right here in Ingersoll showing up and doing precision work and making sure that our military has the equipment that it needs to defend Canada's sovereignty and security, not only here at home, but around the world. This means that they've created jobs right here in our community. They've created jobs in our backyard in southwestern Ontario. They've guaranteed supply chain. They've guaranteed manufacturing right here in southwestern. And I think that's good news. It's good news for the work that they do. It's good news for all of us who represent this region, who are proud to represent this region. I represent London West, but Ingersoll is right in my backyard, and I want you to know that I have been talking about this community and the work that this community is producing on an international level in every room that I'm in. I've been talking about the people who are building this work, all of you workers here today who have joined us in the House of Commons, with ministers, in every single conversation that I have. I believe in our southwestern Ontario future, the manufacturing future, and the defense sector, and the work that this region can provide to keep our country safe and to keep the world going. And that's something that this region holds with enormous pride. It's something that we hold with enormous pride. On behalf of Ottawa, I'm very happy to continue to be your voice in Ottawa on this work. So Minister, let me just tell you, your presence here today will be celebrated for long after you're gone. It sends a signal, a very important signal to our region, that our government is serious about the work that southwestern Ontario has to do. The workers here who work day in and day out to keep our community safe, to keep our nation safe, and to keep the world safe as well. Now, it's my pleasure. I know that you guys are waiting with excitement to hear what the minister has to say. It is my pleasure to introduce you the Minister of National Defense, my friend and colleague, the Honourable David McGuinty. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Here's my seat. Your seat. Hold on. Grab this here. Okay, great. Way up. Well, good morning, everyone. Bonjour, Monsieur, Dame. Can you hear me okay? Great. Thank you very much, Arielle, for welcoming me here. It's great to be in southwestern Ontario. It's great to be here in Ingersoll. I'm really pleased to be here with Peter Fragiskatos as well as Arielle. These are two strong voices for the region. Look, we're on the move. We're on the move. You're on the move. And Arielle, I appreciate your comments about the importance of my visit, but I really want to say this isn't about me, it's about you. It's about the role that you're playing as we make some major changes in Canada, as we move forward to deal with a new landscape, which I'm going to talk about. Cheryl, thank you for welcoming us here today. Thank you for your dedication, your siblings' dedication, Thank you, all three of the siblings, for putting up with each other, working it out, working together. I come from a big family, I understand that. 9 brothers and sisters. As my mother used to say, maybe opening with this, you know, we had a choice to make. She used to say to us at the dinner table, you're 10, but if you decide to pull apart, you'll feel like you're 5. But if you pull together, you'll feel like you're 20. IMT is about pulling together and feeling like we're 20. This is an important location. For more than a century, IMT Precision has produced the critical components that the Canadian Armed Forces and our allies have depended on. This is a company that's not unknown internationally, as Arielle was suggesting. I hear about IMT in the United States. I hear about your work at NATO. I hear about your work in Norway last week. I hear about your work in Brussels. So your reach and your impact is really important. Components that ensure our military can train, deploy, defend Canada and support partners around the world. That's the business you're into. Ce travail, votre travail, témoigne du savoir-faire et de l'excellence canadienne. It speaks to the strength of our defense industry and the indispensable role it plays in keeping Canada secure. Because in today's world, security cannot be taken for granted. Our geography will no longer protect us. Our reputation as a fair and free democracy will no longer protect us. We're living in a moment of profound change, where the rules that once underpinned global stability are being tested, and where threats are evolving faster than ever. So we have to be ready. Ready for today's challenges and ready for those still to come. Cela veut dire investir chez nous, investing in our people, investing in our industries, investing in the capabilities that keep Canada strong. That's why I'm proud to announce the launch of the Canadian Defence Industry Resilience Program. That's a mouthful. The Canadian Defence Industry Resilience Program. It's a program that really means we're trying to strengthen Canada's ability to produce the defense equipment we need here at home, with an initial commitment of up to $1.4 billion to expand our sovereign, our own ammunition production. Because the ability to produce our own ammunition, it's not optional, it's essential. It strengthens our independence, it protects us from global supply disruptions, and it ensures that our armed forces have what they need when they need it. C'est une question de souveraineté, de sécurité et identité. And it's about jobs. Good, skilled jobs, right here in communities like Ingersoll. Through this program, IMT Precision will receive up to $306.4 million to build a new facility producing metal shells for 155mm artillery projectiles. These are critical components used by our armed forces and our allies and in high demand globally, including in Ukraine or even including in Latvia, where we have 3,000 forward deployed members of the Canadian Armed Forces, where Canada is commanding a 14-nation multinational brigade. I want to be practical about this. This is why we need this ammunition. This is where we need this ammunition. This facility will strengthen our defense supply chains. It'll support small and medium-sized businesses and create up to 400 good-paying jobs at full production. At the same time, we're making major investments with General Dynamics Ordnance and Tactical Systems in Quebec. $355.7 million to produce nitrocellulose. This is a critical component in propellants and ammunition that's essential to national security and military operations. Up to $57.8 additional million to establish Canada's first facility for M231, 232 charges. Wait, there's more. Up to $642 million to manufacture 155mm high explosive projectiles. Taken together, these aren't just investments, they're building blocks of modern defense. They are how we ensure that Canada is prepared, not just for today, but for the future. Through these investments, we're strengthening our national security. We're building our capacity, 41 million strong here at home, and we're ensuring that our Canadian Armed Forces have reliable, timely access to the tools they need to do their jobs. You know, members of the Canadian Armed Forces are asked to do things, and they do them. They don't go on strike. There is no collective bargaining. There's no compensatory time off, and there's no overtime. We ask our women and men of the Canadian Armed Forces to do a lot of things, to make a lot of sacrifices. We want to make sure that they have reliable, timely access to the tools they need to do their jobs. It's the least we can do when we ask them to step up, put themselves in harm's way, serve the country. The Canadian Defence Industry Resilience Program puts our defence industrial strategy into action. It sends a clear message. Canada's stepping up. Somebody agrees outside. We're rebuilding. We're reinvesting. And we're doing it with Canadian workers, Canadian industry at the centre, with buying Canadian provisions, Canadian steel, aluminum, electricity, inputs. We can do this. We can compete. We can win. And we will win. That's what this story today is all about. We know this work can't be done alone. We know that we have to collaborate with industry. We know we'll be better prepared and stronger together because we want to feel like 20, don't we? To the team at IMT Precision, to all of you here who work here, to the management, to the investors, to the founders and the owners, to all of you who show up here day after day to give, to serve, to build, I need you to know you are part of something bigger, something more important than just producing something. You know, the world has become a rough and tumble place. The world needs more Canada. We need to be prepared. So thank you, every one of you, in front and behind me. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your innovation. Thank you for your growth. Thank you for coming in as a new trainee and taking on more responsibilities and learning, pushing this company forward, bringing in new processes, new technologies, new know-how. Thank you for the work you do every single day. You're part of a network of innovators, hundreds of thousands strong across this country, helping protect Canada and helping protect Canadians. Nous sommes fiers de pouvoir compter sur vous. We are honored to be able to count on you because at the end of the day, remember this, this is about the women and men of the Canadian Armed Forces. They stand ready to serve Canada. It's our responsibility to stand behind them and stand with them, with the tools they need, with the support they deserve, and with the full strength of this beautiful country. And now I'd like to ask Cheryl to take over. It's a great honor to be here with you today. Thank you so much for your commitment, your hard work, and your dedication. Now let's go compete. Let's go win. Thank you very much.
Wow, well, I was already pretty fired up, but that certainly did not quell me. So sorry, that was inspirational. Thank you so much. Good morning. I think it's still morning, right? Is it morning still? Yep. Okay, excellent. Good morning and welcome to Minister David McGuinty, to the members of Parliament, and other honored guests here today. I am humbled and grateful to welcome you all. Today's announcement is the result of a great deal of work and collaboration. It represents the commitment of the Government of Canada and the dedication of the team here at IMT to strengthening our defence industrial base. We are a 100% Canadian company, and have proudly served the Canadian military with munitions since the First World War. And yes, for those of you doing the math, that means, as Minister already said, we have been in business for over a century. Today, we are building on that legacy. In addition to defense, we also operate in the automotive, agricultural, and aerospace industries. Across all of these sectors, we have proudly built a strong reputation for quality, expertise, and reliability in Canada and globally. Our reputation has been earned through decades of investment in automation, robotics, and people that have created hundreds of jobs and meaningful careers in the communities in which we operate. Around the world, we are reminded daily that peace and stability cannot be taken for granted. Many countries are confronting realities that we hope Canada will never face, but hope is not a strategy. A strategy, Minister, is what you announced a few weeks ago when you unveiled Canada's Defence Industrial Strategy. It rightly recognized that artillery and munitions production in Canada needed bolstering, and fast. It recognized that this is not just a manufacturing problem, but rather a national security problem that Canadian companies can solve. I am honored by the trust you and the Government of Canada have placed in IMT by selecting us for this important project to expand artillery and munition capabilities and capacity. Canada needs to be prepared for the realities of today's world, and IMT is ready to do its part to help re-equip the Canadian Armed Forces, our partners in NATO, and other allies with the weapons they need to do their jobs safely and effectively. And as you said, it's literally the least we can do. Sorry, I get fired up about this stuff. I want to take a moment to pause here, though, and recognize our brave men and women in uniform, whether still in service or our veteran community. Some of them are among us today. Thank you all for your service. We stand ready to deliver on this new capacity. We have and will continue to work hard because we know what is at stake for Canada. I also want to take a moment to recognize the IMT team. The people in this company are proud of what they do. Our success is built on their dedication, ingenuity, and authenticity. Our team solves problems together, supports one another, and consistently rises to meet new challenges. It has been a privilege to watch this team grow and succeed. They inspire me absolutely every day. Minister, thank you for being here today. Please also extend my thanks to the officials in your department for putting up with us and for also making this project a reality. They really were a pleasure to work with. We look forward to watching you cut the ribbon at our new state-of-the-art facility when it's open, as IMT starts this next chapter of our service to Canada. It's time to get building. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. And I would like to extend and invite MP Fragiskatos to provide closing remarks. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Minister.
Well done.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's a special passion that one finds when a business is family founded and family run, and we see that today at IMT. Merci d'être ici, tout le monde. C'est un plaisir, évidemment. Truly, when I find myself in Ingersoll, there's so much history in this community. Usually it's, to be honest with you, I'm at Louis Pizza and Pasta, but you can't tell the story of Ingersoll without talking about IMT. As the Minister touched on, as we just heard, a company that goes back to 1914. It's been part and parcel of this community. That is obvious. What is perhaps less obvious to those outside of Ingersoll, but we're going to change that, is that you are central to the defence sector, not only in southwestern Ontario, which is an anchor to that sector in Canada, but you're central to the defence sector in this entire country. So thank you so much to the leadership to the management, to the workers. You've been thanked already. We can't thank you enough, truly. We have challenges in this country. We have an international system, as the minister touched on, a rules-based order that is in crisis right now. It is being challenged like never before since the Second World War, and so Canada has to step up. We see technology changing. We see threats evolving, and we have to be ready, and we have to rely on ourselves. And that's where all of you fit in, of course. So we're going to continue to be here for you. Arielle is a London MP, I'm a London MP, but we have a vision for Southwestern Ontario, and we want to continue to work with municipal leaders as well. I'm not sure if Mayor Brian Petrie was able to be here today, but his steadfast leadership during a very difficult time has proven immeasurable, and I want to thank him for all the work that he's done. I know he's proved instrumental in helping this part of the plant get constructed in 18 months, I believe. So thank you, Mayor Petrie, if you're here, and if you're not, we'll be chatting in the coming days and weeks for sure, as we always do. Thank you again. I'll turn it over to our press secretary for questions from the media. Appreciate it.
That now concludes the announcement. Thank you, merci. We'll now open it up for questions. One question, one follow-up. Please state your name and outlet. Thank you.
Hello, Minister. Kurt Brownage, Global News. Give me one moment. I'm also framing up the camera to make sure your head's not cut off during this.
Don't cut off my head.
I'm trying, man. Why did you not inform Canadians about a reported Iranian missile striking a Kuwait airbase with CAF personnel? Does the public not have a right to know?
So I addressed this question yesterday and the day before, and I'll do it again. It is the policy of the Canadian Armed Forces to be very careful and discreet around the safety and security of our personnel on the ground. We do have personnel in the Middle East. They are dispersed in the region. We don't identify their locations. We don't identify where they're moving from or where they're moving to. And we don't comment on situations of operational security. Those who are trying to force commentary on operational security are in, frankly, the opposition parties. I get that. I understand it's part of their job. I respect that job. But I think they're making a mistake. I really do believe that we should be focusing on the absolute responsibility we have to keep our women and men in the Canadian Armed Forces safe and secure. And the good news is they are all accounted for and safe and secure. And maybe just to repeat as well, to be clear, Canada was not consulted about the decision to attack Iran. Canada has not participating and will not participate in the offensive actions in that region. We're obviously keeping a very, very close eye, hour by hour, on the situation. It's evolving. It's a war zone. It's dangerous. That's why we're very careful about commenting on questions like where folks are, what they might have been subjected to, and where they're not. So we, for operational reasons, keep that secure and confidential.
Understood. Quick follow-up from the Ottawa Bureau. When the Prime Minister was asked about the airstrike, he said, quote, he was not the only spokesperson for the government, end quote. As the Defence Minister, does this not mean you could have been more forthcoming in telling Canadians about the situation?
Well, first of all, I was with the Prime Minister at the microphone when he said that in Yellowknife. And I think what he was alluding to was we were traveling. We were on our way to Norway to sign a series of new deals with the Nordic 5 countries to cooperate on military hardware, to cooperate on space. So basically, at the time, it was still something that we were processing internally. I take my lead from the operational experts inside the Canadian Armed Forces. And that's who I work with. That's the information I rely on. That's why I'm commenting on it right now.
Okay. Sorry, can I submit it? Hi, Mr. Minister. My name is Norman DeBono. I'm a reporter at the London Free Press. Just want to ask some nuts and bolts questions about this announcement today. Things like, when will construction start? When will the plant be opened and in production? Exactly why did you choose this plant and Ingersoll for production? And if you can elaborate or flesh out exactly the decision-making around today's announcement. Thank you.
So this conversation around situating additional investments in ammunition is something that's been going on for several years. There's been a very highly technical team that's been surveying the Canadian landscape to see who was well positioned to be able to deliver on this front. In our defense industrial strategy that was referred to, released just a month ago, the first in Canadian history, we identified 10 core areas, sovereign capabilities we call them, but these 10 core areas are basically where Canada needs to move forward, where we can move forward. And we found, of course, that we had good underpinnings for ammunition production in a company like this one. And this is one of the reasons why this company was chosen. Its credibility, its resiliency, its history of delivering on time, on budget. So the question of when we're standing up the building, I would say, when are we getting to full production? My answer to that is as quickly as possible. We're working with the management team here and this incredible group of people who are dedicated to making this happen. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Do we know if it's going to be on site here or at a different location, a different building?
Why don't you come and answer that?
Sir, sorry.
Thank you.
Just to jump in. Site selection is actually under review. We have not established yet where that will be located, but we expect to have more to say on that in a few weeks. So please stay tuned.
Cheryl, can you flesh out the timeline as well?
Next few weeks, I can't be more specific than that, unfortunately.
And how many are employed now at IMT?
Over 500 plus under roof right here. You're looking at all their beautiful faces.
And more than 400 will be at the new plant. Is that correct?
300 approximately. That's still to be determined.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Hello.
Hi.
Josanne from CBC. My first question for you is: a senior Trump counterterrorism official resigned because he said Iran posed no imminent threat. Does that call into question Canada's support for the initial strikes by the U.S. and Israel?
No, I don't think it does. I'm not really in a position to comment on the decision of a senior official in the Trump administration, sovereign country, sovereign administration. An individual's made a decision. I'm not familiar with the details. I'm not sure any of us are really. Look, we're moving forward. The Prime Minister was clear at the beginning of this. Iran has not been exactly the best actor in the space. They haven't been exactly the best actor with respect to their own people, particularly women. And in the region, they've been fostering terrorism and they've been seeding discord for a long time, at least 40 years. I want to be clear. Canada was not consulted in the decision to prosecute this war. Canada has not participated in this war, and Canada is not participating in this war. I said yesterday we remain open to the possibility to be of assistance to neighboring states. We're monitoring that hour by hour, day by day. But it is a very, very difficult situation right now. So what happens in the United States in terms of a decision made by an official, really an American, that's a US question as opposed to a Canadian one. Our position remains constant.
Okay. My follow-up is, you appear to be on a last-minute spending spree to meet the 2% spending target on defense. Is it possible Canada won't meet the target by the end of March?
Answer? No, it's not possible. We will be achieving our 2% spend by March 31st. Stay tuned. And this is not a last-minute spending spree. This is the culmination of years of work in some cases, certainly the last year, in laying track to set up the announcements to be able to actually now execute on a plan. We have a plan. And the plan in this case is to make absolutely sure that Canada and our Canadian Armed Forces have the ammunition that they need. Any surplus ammunition can then be shared with our NATO allies. This is important because we are able to make sure we have what we need, but also do well financially as we export around the world. Everywhere I go now, working with like-minded countries with the same values, I hear the same thing. We hear the same thing, which is people want to do business with Canada. We mean what we say and we say what we mean. And in today's world, that's a big thing. So if we're able to produce and supply NATO allies, good for us and good for our allies. So this is not about a last-minute spending spree. This is a systematic rollout, executing on a plan that was devised some time ago. And we'll have more to say about this as time rolls on. But we are making, you're right, the largest single investment in Canadian defence, probably 80 years. And there will be much more to announce as we strengthen and launch the defence industrial strategy. And we are convinced it's going to lead to not only 300 more or plus jobs here, I think it'll be close to 400 by the time this is wrapped up, but we're looking at thousands, 125,000 more jobs targeted over the next 10 years. A 50% increase in exports of Canadian defence material around the world. This is Canada. the country of BlackBerry and insulin. We can do this. We have the brains, we have the engineers, we have the workforce, we have the risk-taking, we have the capital. That's exactly what we're going to do, because these people here, all of us believe in Canada's can-do capabilities. We're 41 million strong, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Minister McGuinty. Jerry Dewan from CTV News, London. President Zelensky says that Ukraine is struggling with a lack of access to missiles because of the war in Iran. Are there ways that we can help to ameliorate those concerns?
This is a continuing challenge in Ukraine, one that I'm working with my NATO counterparts on now. Just yesterday we were at Rochelle, and we are now facilitating the transfer of almost 400 armored vehicles to Ukraine after already shipping more than 200 previously. The question of ammunition, the question of missile capacity is one that they're dealing with, that we are dealing with together at NATO, combining our resources. Canada last year purchased $900 million worth of supplies for a particular program administered by the United States called the PEARL program. The PURL, it's a program where the Ukrainians identify what they need. The Americans have a lot of this materiel on board, able to ship. You know, when we get this plant up and running, we'll be able to purchase materiel and ammunition from this plant. And perhaps, hopefully by then, we'll not be contending with the Ukrainian war. But the reality is we're coming together as an organization, as a treaty organization. And there is a temptation to think that we're forgetting about the Ukraine war. We're not. We're extremely engaged in that right now. In fact, I'll have more calls this week on that front. And we intend to continue to be of great support to Ukraine. I think it's important for Canadians to know as well, Canada has been the highest per capita supporter of Ukraine since 2014. We should be proud of this. This is an important, very difficult situation for us. It may seem like it's a long way away, but it's not. It may seem that it's another war in somebody else's continent, but it's not. This has direct bearings on our future, so we're being very careful about it.
Just to follow, the changing global landscape certainly seems to have increased urgency for military preparedness. How are you sending that message to your partners that you have a certain desire, certain demands that you're expecting to be met?
Well, the first thing we did was we're going to be achieving the 2% spend, the NATO 2% spend GDP by March 31st. And now we're laying track for a plan to achieve 3.5% by 2029-2030. And then we'll actually achieve our plan by 2035 to achieve 5%. These are big numbers. This is a big decision. But I think the Canadian people, we feel the Canadian people understand. We need to do this. We need to do this for ourselves, our security, our sovereignty. In the last 6 to 8 months, we've signed 12 new trading arrangements in the world, 6 of which are defense in origin. Just 2 days ago, I signed on to a new space agreement with Norway. Turns out Norway has the only space launch capacity in all of Europe. Well, guess what? The Germans, the French, the Italians, and others are looking for a location to be able to send their satellites, thousands of which are backlogged, into space. Canada's going to be building launch pads in Canso, Nova Scotia, to be able to participate and support our NATO colleagues on that front as well. So we are building up, and the response across NATO is very favorable. They want Canadian leadership. They want to work with Canada. They want to do joint deals. They want to do joint ventures. Capital starting to flow into the country. And we're going to give rise to meeting 2 big objectives. Objective number 1, making sure that our women and men in the Canadian Armed Forces have what they need. We owe it to our forces, and we owe it to ourselves. And secondly, give rise to an extended industrial sector in defense. 125,000 more jobs, much more export, more diversification of our marketplace. We're open to doing deals with foreign states, open to doing deals with foreign companies, as well as our own Canadian Indigenous companies like IMT. That's the future. And I think everybody here knows that and feels it. So we're very pleased to be here to announce this today. It's a great example of what our defense industrial strategy is trying to accomplish.
Jeremy Parking from Rogers TV. Question marks still around the community in Ingersoll through Cami Automotive and that plant. There has been suggestions of switching to a military vehicle as an option for production. Is that still on the table and still being talked about?
Go for it.
Thank you very much for the question. We know, local MPs, all the way to the Prime Minister and certainly the Defence Minister, that Ingersoll is going through a very difficult time. CAMI is so important to the community, and so we will continue to think through the approach taken by the municipal government, by leadership at GM. We should not dismiss any possibility. I think people in this community want to hear that. It's a very hard situation, certainly. This was a decision taken by GM, a very regrettable one, I have to emphasize, but we should not dismiss any possibility. And if there's opportunities, I speak for myself here, if there's opportunities for that particular facility to play a role in defense, in Canadian defense, then I think we should take that up and see where it goes.
Maybe just to add to that quickly, yesterday at Rochelle, it was clear that Rochelle entered into a very good deal with Ford Canada to show exactly how even automakers are looking to consider a future in the defense space, because the technicians, the technology, the know-how is often adaptable. And that's something that we're talking to major car manufacturers about. We'll have more to say about this in due course. And if anybody's interested in reaching out to me on that front, please do so. We're looking to make sure we create as many jobs as we can for our people. Good jobs, stable jobs. They often have the technology in place, the electrification's in place, the warehousing's in place, the machinists, the tool and die makers are in place, right? The sheet metal workers are in place. So that kind of capacity can be repurposed and reallocated, and that's exactly the kind of demand pull we're hoping to create through the Defence Industrial Strategy. So stay tuned, we'll have more to say about that.
That now concludes the question and answers period, as well as the announcement. Thank you, merci.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks so much. Terrific day.